Oh, okay, yeah, I could totally tell you just clicked on. Oh my gosh. Do you remember your first joke, by the way? Or your first commitment joke to comedy?
No.
No.
Because I started stand up 2000 October 2010, so that was a long time ago.
No, that's not a long ass time ago. That's
10 years ago.
That's not long at all. You hit the ground running. You had like you may not consider it a fast pace, but I always hear these comedians say they performed at the at like an old bar. You know what I mean? Growing up, they had to get snuck in the bar at 15 to tell jokes. They made $10.
The person with that story is Dave Chappelle. Now you know you lying. A lot of them thought they was funny at the barbershop or in school, and they a little slow and they not that educated and they can't read that good out loud, so they ended up saying a story like that. But they be lying.
But you was an excellent student. Right?
Yeah, I actually dropped out of college to move to LA. So I was 10 credits. I think I had 110 credits for BA in chemistry, and I dropped out. Yep.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I didn't want to do it anymore.
What college did you go to?
I went to Eastern Michigan University. First of all, when I was in high school, I graduated. I was 16 in the 12th grade, and I turned 17. So I wasn't ready to leave home yet. So I sat at home for a year with my mom and hung out with my friends and did all that stuff. And then at 18, I went to college, and then I ended up at 18 turning 19 in freshman year of college. So I went to college, and I didn't really want to go to school, but I didn't really know what else I wanted to do. So when I was in high school, I never took the ACTs or the SATs. I've never took them. So what I did is I went to community college. I went to Oakland Community College, and I ended up getting like a 3.5, 3.6. I took physics 1, physics 2. I did a placement test and placed high because I'm very good at math and science, very good. So I placed high and I got in there, and I never had to take the SAT or ACT to get in. I've been able to get into every university I applied to, which was Eastern Michigan, Florida Atlantic University, and Florida International University. I didn't end up going there, but I ended up just applying. But I went to Eastern Michigan University for the most part. And then the last year, I decided to move back to Florida. I went to Florida Atlantic University in Boca. And then I just dropped out. I just said, I did an internship. I did 2. I did 1 at a pharmaceutical company. And I thought it was so boring. I used to have more line. They used to tell me that you have to maintain your position. And I used to like to be on the front line with the people that made the pills, the factory workers. And they was like, you can't do that. I was like, well, that paperwork shit and all this other stuff. I used to test pills. So in order for it to pass the FDA, the pills have to be consistent in weight and size, and also you'd have to do the mathematics on it.
Sure.
So I used to do that stuff, but I just didn't want to do it. I thought to myself, I don't want to do this the rest of my life. I saved up $10,000. I worked at the Coconut Creek Casino. I saved up $5,000, and then I was at a red light, and this white kid hit me in the back at the red light, and I was like, cha-ching. his daddy called me. It was like, can we just settle? Can we just I'll just pay your medical bills. I said, hell no, I don't give a fuck about his future.
So you got a settlement. It came to Cali.
I got another 5 G's.
Wow.
Came with 10 G's. I shipped my car. I moved here on Christmas Day, and my grandmother had a 2-bedroom in Inglewood. And the second bedroom had a twin size bed. I bought a TV, and that was it.
Wow. What was first of all, how did you graduate from high school at 16 before we picked up?
I graduated at 17. I was 16, turned 17. Yeah. My mother started me in school because my birthday is latest in November. So she started me to school like in kindergarten, I think at 4 instead of 5.
Okay.
So 4 turning 5 versus some kids, they parents wait until they 5 and then they turn 6, which makes them a little older. So she taught me kind of young.
And Inglewood, they biting at the bit to talk to you, but we're gonna get there. We'll get there. Inglewood, so when you landed, when your car got here, you slept a couple of days in a twin bed. You watched. I
was saving my grandmother for 6 months.
6 months.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to figure I was only 22.
And what gig did you pick up?
I immediately started doing background work. So I took a little course when I was in Miami, and they had taught us about joining SAG-AFTRA. So I had 10,000 saved. So back in the day, you didn't have to you didn't have to have any vouchers or anything to join AFTRA. So I figured out, okay, if I pay $1,600, I can automatically get on set. I wouldn't make it $8 an hour. I would be making $16 an hour. So I paid the $1,600, made that shit back in 2 weeks. So then I was able to get those jobs. And then I worked on a show. They asked me, I worked on a show called House. I don't know if you remember that show, House. And I body doubled for some girl that was supposed to be in the big finale. And the guy that was working there, he asked me, he said, "Are you SAG?" I said, "No." He said, "I'll make sure that you're SAG. I'll call you back every single day till you get all your vouchers." And I said, "Thank you." And I sat there every day. It wasn't doing nothing, but I was body double, like laying in a hole under some dirt and stuff. It was supposed to be like a 9/11 episode. And then I paid them $2,200. I joined SAG. And I think before that, by that summer, I was making up to $5,000 a month just doing background work.
Wow. And when did you touch the stage? Oh, by the way, Blue Blood wants to know, did you ever perform stand-up at Caroline's in New York? And do you plan to go? I need to be there.
I plan on coming. I haven't yet, but I have performed in New York. I won the She Devil comedy competition, which was an all-female competition back in 2015.
So during the body double jobs, you transitioned to comedy, or did you stay?
So I had already been doing comedy already. I think I started comedy October 2010. So I had did background work for 10 months, and then I remember this guy that I dated in college, he had hit me up. He was like, "Hey, my homeboy live out there, at least so you know a friend." And I said, "Okay." And then so I would hang out with this guy. He was just my friend, but I would go hang out every like once a week, go chat with him or whatever. And he introduced me to this other guy named Elijah, and he did stand up. And he asked me, because people don't know, when you first start stand up, you got to do bringer shows. And bringer shows is where you have to bring 10 people to get some type of stage time, right? It could be 5 minutes, but you got to bring these 10 people. And the promoters be tripping on you if you don't bring all your people, because they be trying to just get the money, right? So they try to fill a crowd off of the comedians. Whereas, so then I went, and he asked me, and I had a boyfriend at the time, and he was like, "Hey, could y'all come?" And we was like, "Yeah, we'll come support you." And then so we went, and when we went, I was like, "Oh, I want to do this too." And then the guy was like, "Well, if you bring 10 people, you can come back next week." I said, "Well, my grandma, her wig count for 2 people. I'll be there."